Hello and welcome to another 52 Weeks of Financial Success. I thank you for continuing to watch us every week as we take this journey together. Now, if this is your first time watching this video, I encourage you to go back to the previous weeks so you can catch up to where we are right now. If you have not been to our website, I encourage you to go there. Make sure you download the free chapter to our new book, 7 Secrets to Financial Success. Now, let's begin. We're going into week 4, and our tip this week is to seek counsel. You know, last week my wife and I had the blessed privilege of being able to go to D.C. to see the inauguration of President Barack Obama for the second time. You know, an idea came to me as we were there. You know, there was a lot going on. There was diversity, so many people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different beliefs. And we were all there to witness what was another historic event. But as they were introducing everyone, from former presidents to ambassadors, what struck me is when they introduced the president's cabinet. They called the Secretary of State, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Treasury, all of these different positions. And I thought about, here we have probably the most powerful leader in the free world. A man who's been educated at Columbia and Harvard, obviously is well-rounded, very brilliant, but he has enough sense to realize that I don't know everything about everything. So I don't know everything about foreign affairs. I have a Secretary of State. I don't know everything about finance. That's why I have a Secretary of Treasury. I do not know everything about the armed forces. I have a Secretary of Defense. And so my question to you as I think about step number 4 is, if the President of the United States has counsel, why don't you? And so that's why I want to encourage you to seek counsel. But if you're going to seek counsel, let me tell you 3 things that you need to look for in that advice, in that advisor, that counselor, whoever you're going to trust to help you succeed financially. First thing you want to look for is you want to seek direction. You want to work with someone who can move you forward, who can progress you from where you are now to where you want to be. But you do not want someone that, if you look at where you are today, 3 or 4 years down the road, if you're in the same place that you are in now, later, that's the wrong person. And so I'm speaking to you, that person. You have someone. You've been working with someone for the last few years. But when you look at where you are, you haven't moved forward. That person hasn't given you direction. You want to make sure that's a quality that they have. Second quality is they need to be qualified. They need to be qualified. See, this is what I found. I found a lot of times we'll seek advice from people we know, but do they actually know finances? Whether it's a coworker, a family member, a friend, that trust factor is already there. So we'll ask them, hey, what do you think about what I should invest in? What do you think about where I should put some money for savings? How should I handle this debt? What should I do about purchasing a home? And so many times we'll seek someone, but are they really qualified? So I want to encourage you, whoever you use, make sure that they have experience, make sure that they have some level of education in what they are advising you on. Make sure that it's someone who can bring quality to your relationship. And then finally, I say it needs to be someone who is relatable. Because I've noticed this, that a lot of times you may have someone who gives you direction, someone who's qualified, but you all just do not mesh well together. You know, they may be on a different level or thinking differently than you are. And so no matter how much they know, no matter how great it seems like the advice may be, it just does not seem to work because you all cannot relate to one another. And so I have found that the best relationships, especially those where you're going to help me financially, is yes, you need to give me direction, yes, you need to be quality, but we need to be able to relate with one another. You know, I like to use the term, what we find in the Bible, equally yoked. And so whatever relationship you have, I believe, yes, marriage, but friendship, co-workers, you want to make sure that you're able to relate with that person. And so if you have someone and it's not working, hey, you need to make a change. But if you're looking for someone, make sure that they can relate to where you are and to where you're trying to get to. Okay, so this is our action tip for the week. First of all, if you're working with someone now, you've been working with them, measure the success of that relationship off of these three qualities. Are you moving forward? Are they providing direction? Are they qualified? And do you have a good relationship? And if you do not have counsel, I encourage you to seek counsel now. Because as we journey together, as you're taking these steps, you need someone who's going to help you be accountable, someone who's going to show you, hey, you're doing this, but you need to look at doing it this way. Everyone needs counsel. Because remember, if the President of the United States has a cabinet, if he has someone that he's gleaning from, why don't we have anyone? All right, well, thank you for tuning in again. Remember, go to our website, follow us every week, whether it be through our blog, whether it be through the videos. Make sure you download our free chapter. And again, we'll see you next week.